I didn't want to go here, but to me, I think the clear leader of this team is Ant-Man. Listen, let me tell you something.
Leader off the court?
Leader of this team on the court.
On the court, okay.
Because what I saw was the USA team started the older guys, Steph, LeBron, they got off obviously to a slow start, but, you know, they only been in training camp for 4 days, and so haven't had a lot of practice. But I noticed the game changed when Ant-Man got in, Tatum, Anthony Davis. It's like his personality took over the USA team.
Yep.
And once he came in and made it clear, because he halfly joked, but I know he was kind of serious, like, hey, y'all got to play through me.
He did.
You know, he said that.
Play around me.
He said, y'all got to play, you got to play around me. You got to build it through me. I know he was kind of jokingly saying it, but I felt like he really meant it in a certain kind of way, because that's what it looked like when he came into the game, when the U.S. was struggling and they needed a jolt in the arm, he was that one. So it almost makes me wonder if he should be starting. But you know what? You got to give respect to the OGs, LeBron, Steph, and the guys, you know, Embiid, the guys who are ahead. You know, the USA is not going to lose anyway. Team Canada, regardless of who they put out there, Team Canada, if this is the team with the second best odds to win gold or silver or whatever, or medal, and the USA is as rusty as they were yesterday, I don't see nobody even coming close. I think we're going to see scores like we saw in the Dream Team 1, where we're going to see a lot of teams losing by like 20 and 30 points. But Ant-Man's personality just took over to me. I saw it on the court. I saw it on the sidelines when they was walking back to the timeout, him, you know, looking at Bron like, you know, come on, Steph, you know, come on. And you know, this guy is going to be, you know, right now he's established himself as a USA star, but he's going to be an international star before these Olympics is over.
You know, it's funny Paul starts off by saying Ant-Man, because obviously that's the way I feel. I feel like it got going once he stepped on the floor. Now, I don't really care who starts, Skip, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
As far as they can start.
Well, trust me, they care. They do. I don't care what you say. LeBron James ain't coming off nobody's bench.
But that's fine.
Right.
That's fine from an ego standpoint.
No, Joe, I'm just talking about ego.
It's an ego.
But this is Ant-Man's team, probably.
But in the end, they can take all 5 guards and whatever guard and put them out there on the floor, they're going to win, because they're better than everybody else. There's no question about it. But in terms of the intensity, all of those sort of things, when you getting Tatum and AD along with Ant-Man stepping onto the floor and basically giving somewhat of a little bit of a jolt, that's what they needed, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
And so when you talk about it, and Steph played well too. I mean, they just all, when you look at the box score, pretty much everybody except Embiid didn't even really play because he fouled out. I looked up, I was like, he got 5 fouls already?
Yeah.
But I don't know what that was about, but I'm sure they'll get that fixed. You know, you got your veteran leaders, and obviously you got the leader of all in LeBron James. He's the guy who's like the Magic Johnson of the Dream Team. Get everybody together in the huddle, and he can still go and he can still play. There's no question about it. But Ant-Man, just something about his personality when he walks into a room. Now, don't reach across the table and slap me, Skip. Please don't.
You're getting close. I can hear it in your voice. Are we about to go Jordan?
Hey, hold on.
It's something about guys like that. Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Ant-Man.
So you're putting him in that sentence.
When you walk into a room, it just brightens up. And that's how he is. Because he's not bragging. Like Jordan didn't brag, Kobe didn't brag. It's just what it is. Like, you're gonna have to run it through me. Now, whether or not he was part joking or part serious, doesn't matter, because everybody got the message, and they're okay with that. They're not like, man, go sit down somewhere. They're like, okay, cool. Because he's showing you, if you allow me to do me, we're gonna be all right. That's what he's showing you. And so I know people like, oh, man, he should just pipe down. He hadn't won anything. Well, okay, that's fine. His personality won't allow him to do that. Those are the type of players that you always want to be around and play with. You know, Skip covering this stuff. You don't want to look down at the bench and look at a guy that just look like it's all over with.
Feel defeated.
Defeated. You want somebody smiling and having fun out there because it's going to affect everybody else. No matter how good or bad it's going, he gonna let you know. Yeah. And that's what you're getting from this young man. And I can't wait to see the real Olympics when they get going in the next couple weeks.
Do you want him in the starting lineup?
I don't care who starts.
Do you want him playing more minutes than anybody?
No.
You know what's good?
Because all their minutes is about the same.
Likewise.
You know, I like the way they let the older guys go out. If they start slow or not, this is my energy group.
They all averaged around 19 minutes.
They did.
I mean, the guys, you know,
Steve Kerr and company did a good job because everybody got about the same.
Everybody got about the same, and then you get down to the three dudes that I have no idea who they are.
I don't know who they are.
Davis and Callaway and all that. I'm like, I don't know who these Galloway and them. Where they find them at?
Agreed. I still couldn't figure out why LeBron was still on the floor with 3.5 minutes left in the game of what was becoming a blowout, just to make sure he got up to his, what do you wind up
19.
with? 19 minutes. I think almost 20. You could round up to 20. But the point was, he needed a couple of more minutes late, and maybe you just want to get a little run in just to get your legs.
Who knows?
I mean, you know, they haven't been playing for so long. They got to get their legs back. You know, a lot of guys been sitting for the last couple of months. You got to get, you know, game legs back.
And they probably was running running certain sets in those last 3 or 4 minutes that they needed to see as a coaching staff with him on the floor.
Down. Yeah.
Okay. Here you go again with your comparisons where you can't help yourself, and you are lifting him into the same sentence with Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant and Magic Johnson. That's
Smiling
what you just
and
said.
having fun, baby.
Okay, just energy-wise, I'll give you most of that. Most of that. Not all of it, but most of it. He was, to me, Russell Westbrook last night. That had Westbrookian sort of impact. The way Russ comes off the bench for the Clippers, or how he's been doing a little bit for the Lakers. But the point was, this late career Westbrook energy that he comes off the bench with. Last year for the Clippers, every time Russ came in the game, it just ignited. It just went all over. Sometimes it ignited out of bounds and off people's hands, but it ignited. And Ant-Man has the same kind of energy, because he does have fearless energy, and he's not afraid of the moment. He's not afraid to shoot it, and he made his first shot, and they were kind of off to the races feeding off his energy. Yeah. So I love him in that role. That's perfect. He is your classic sixth man, or whatever you want to call it.
This team, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Then the other thing that stunned me was, I'm going to say it again. I'm going to go here. I'm the biggest Joel Embiid fan. He is woefully out of shape, like scary out of shape to me, where he looks like he could lose 15 or 20 pounds and be just fine. That's just me, and I love him. He is still, every time he steps on a floor with all those guys, he is still the biggest nuclear weapon on the floor. But last night, the guy you didn't put in your top 10 players yesterday, Anthony Davis, he looked like kind of top one to me. He looked like the best player on the floor.
You know, Canada is at a disadvantage.
They don't have height. They don't have height.
They don't have any size.
Okay.
I expect Anthony Davis to be this way. And Grant Hill said it on the telecast. He was like, I look for Anthony Davis to kind of, you know, be a key component to us winning gold.
Okay. So Joel is just grabbing and reaching because he's just not in shape. And he fouls out because you only get 5 in this, and it can really affect it, man, because it affects college games, as you well remember. In college, it just seems like you're playing with 4 fouls. You know, like it feels like you only get 4 because they go so fast. You're in foul trouble quickly.
He got 10 minutes a quarter? He got 5 in 12 minutes.
5 in 12 minutes.
Yeah.
AD missed one of those on the oop, and Tatum missed the jam, too.
His legs ain't there right now.
All right. So, to me, AD went 10 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 blocks. That'll work.
He had a nice dime, too, up the cup to, was it LeBron?
He did. Yeah. He sure did.
Yeah, the back door.
But he looked like the starting 5 to me, as in number 5, as in center.
And it may happen the next time they go out, they may switch up the lineup.
It well might.
I mean, I like what Bam gave him, too. I mean, he gave him great energy, great defense. He
Steve
was there
Kerr said in his stand-up interview between quarters, he said, I love Bam and AD out there because...
Yeah, that's the energy group.
The whole... Well, I said this yesterday. I can argue, I could take not just our second 5, I could take our back 7. If I took our last 7 players,
I don't know
to
about
the Olympics?
I don't know about our last three. I didn't know who them guys were.
No,
just
but I mean, I'm just talking about the names, the name guys.
No, I know.
If I took, well, just say our second five. If I took them to Paris, just those guys, I'm pretty sure I'd have a pretty good shot to win it all with just the second five.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer.
Well, I'd have Michael Jordan. I would. I'd have the young Jordan. I would.
Now
Well, I
you do it-
would.
Now you do it.
Am
too
I
much
right?
talking. No, nobody's saying Jordan. You can't sit here and tell me when you watch a guy, whether he's coming off the bench, starting, whatever it is, whether he's not even playing in the game, but getting off the bench and becoming a guy in a huddle or a guy who's dapping up his other teammates and telling them, hey, man, let's get this going in the right direction. There's something that has value that reminds me a lot of those guys.
This is reminding
That's
me
all?
when I'll go back and look at the tapes. You remember when the Dream Team won, Magic and Larry was like, Jordan. They was like, hey, this is the new kid in town now. But
Absolutely.
I understand
But they were
that
going
Jordan
so far as to
already
saying the league belongs to him.
won. Yeah, because Jordan had
They
already
was on
won
their
it.
way out.
Yeah,
they were.
just like LeBron
Yeah.
and Steph. You know, they got a few years left, but this kid is coming. And it sort of reminds me of that. Like, Jordan had won a couple championships, by the way, before he went to the 92 Dream Team. But you can see, I see what you're saying.
He won a couple?
Yeah, he already won a couple.
He won two.
He already won a couple before he went there. But you could kind of see, like, the torch being passed, you know, to Tatum and Anthony Edwards.
How many has Anthony won now? Championship?
No, he got no championship.
Oh, he's got none. That's right. I forget it. I forget he just had. I thought he had two. And silly me. Go ahead.
No, but you know, it just seems like you can tell, and I could tell how he was on the bench. The way he was kind of like he wasn't afraid to you know, say what's up to LeBron and Curry.
They mess with him. He's young.
Yeah, that's
and they
cool.
rock with him.
They get a kick out of him.
Yeah, they get a kick out of him. They rock with him.
Larry and Magic did with MJ. But I bet you in practice, he's probably the best player. You know, I know people want to say LeBron right now, but I bet you in practice, because he's young. He wants to be out there. He wants to, like, these guys, they vets, and they understand how to go through it and get through it. But this guy, he's excited to be around Curry. I'm thinking if I'm a young player and I had a chance to be around Jordan, Magic, and I'm the youngest, I'm talking about I'll be out there just going as hard as I can, energy, loud, and you know, and I can see that from him.
Please remember, Kevin Durant could not play last night, so that's another one. Okay,
So
go ahead.
Think about when he knocked down that three, Skip.
It was big.
They had to call a timeout. He had knocked down three and let the crowd
he's
know.
He's playing to the crowd.
Like he's playing to the, he knocked it down. Like
he did.
Come on, man. I got this. I'm gonna knock this down, and I'm gonna keep it moving, and y'all with me.
He did.
that rubs off on your.
Do you want him closing games for Team USA?
Would I want him close? Man, I'll take any of these dudes to close a game. To be honest with you, any of them. It's hard to take one against the other and be like, well, I don't want this guy. No, all of them are closers on their team.
To be honest,
every last one of these guys are closers on their team.
To be honest, there's not gonna be no need for a closer.
Okay.
But if they did, think about this. Devin Booker's a closer. LeBron's a closer. If you need Embiid to close it out, he gonna do it healthy. Steph's a closer. Well, Drew Holiday's more of a defensive guy, but then you got AD, he could close. Ant-Man could close. Halliburton could close. Tatum could close. If you need Bam to close something out, he could do it. Like, and then we didn't even mention about KD, like you said.
Ant-Man did not close very well against Dallas.
But we're talking about the Olympics
right now. But I'm just saying that was a big stage, and he was on it, and he did not distinguish himself.
The guy that we love the most, in the NBA is Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan didn't close at times in his career, too. Let's not count. When we start trying to do this, Skip, let's not just focus in on the 6 championships. Because he lost before he got there. In playoff games that matter. I don't care about 63 against Boston in the Garden and Larry Bird. Jesus, I saw God or whatever he said. No one cares about that. Stop always talking about the playoffs when a kid first got there to his opportunity and didn't play as well as he probably should have. He's got more to come.
Michael closed way more than anybody I ever saw. And did he miss some? Sure he did. Because
when you great, you gonna miss.
Sure.
You gonna miss. You gonna miss more than you gonna make because you gonna take more. That's just how it is.
Okay. So Anthony Edwards last summer in the FIBA World Cup for our team, and we didn't have all these superstars, but we had Jalen Brunson, and we had Tyrese Halliburton, we had Jaren Jackson Jr., we had Brandon Ingram, Mikal Bridges. We had that kind of group. So it's sort of the the next level of star. They're stars,
Guys
but they're not
coming.
super, right?
Yeah.
And he took that team over, even though it lost to Team Canada and wound up in 4th place. So it lost the 3rd place game. And we're going to talk about Dylan Brooks later. Dylan Brooks had 39 against Team USA to win that game for Canada, which brings me back to Canada. So if, in fact, Team USA sees Team Canada when it counts, when it matters in Paris, what do you think will happen?
Listen, this was no practice time, Skip. They're going to get better as time goes on. They're going to figure each other out, especially the first unit. KD's going to come back, and I don't know if they insert him into that lineup instead of Booker. So then
they will.
You know, they'll probably insert
They just will.
KD.
He's Kevin bleeping Durant.
Yeah.
He scored more points than anybody has in international play.
He's the leading scorer in USA basketball history.
Yeah.
So, you know, you got to understand that they're going to just keep getting better, and look what they did defensively. So, obviously, the defense is ahead of the curve. Offensively will come, and I'm shocked. Even, you know, for them to score 86 points, I'm still shocked. Just the amount of talent that they put on the court should be easily scoring 120 points.
You mentioned defense, right? Defense is usually, in football, it's much easier to deal with, right? There's a couple plays, you line up, you play, you tackle. You offensively, you got so much terminology and things like that. Offensively, and I was going to ask you this because you played enough NBA international stuff, the ball.
Yeah.
How much of a difference is the basketball than the normal Spalding
It's
NBA
different,
deal?
but you make the adjustment. You know, you practice.
But they only have 4 days, right?
Yeah, they only have 4 days, but you can obviously tell the chemistry with the second unit is way better.
It was.
Than the first unit, because I think the first unit got caught in kind of watching each other go one-on-one, whereas the second unit kind of let Halliburton run some pick and rolls, and they was moving the ball, making the extra passes, and it opened things up between him and Anthony Edwards running the pick and rolls. They kind of moved the ball. And so once the first team figures that out, they're going to continue to get better. I mean, you know, this is the first time LeBron got a chance to play with Steph in international play. So, you know, they filling each other out. I like Drew, kind of like a glue guy out there. So they'll get it. And so I just don't think – I'll be shocked. Listen, and this is a warm-up game. They won by 14 points. I'll be shocked if a U.S. team played a game where they didn't win by more than double figures. Any game.
Yeah, I had them winning by 20 last night.
Like double figures, this should be.
All right, next time they play, they'll probably face Canada. What will they beat them by?
Man.
Okay, by what?
Canada by the time they play, they're going to beat them by like 20-something.
Yeah,
20?
I believe they're going to beat them by 30.
I'll put a dinner on that.
Will you give me 20?
I'll give you 20.
I'll take 20. Would you like any part of this?
I'll take
you don't
20.
do these, but you can have.
I'll take
this. Look, this
I think they're going to bust a hole in them by 30.
Yeah.
Would you give me 30?
No.
Yeah, I'll
20.
Would you give me 25?
I'll give you
20.
I'll give you 25.
All right, I'll take 25 from you, and I'll take
25.
20 from you
That's easy
for
money.
a dinner.
You can look at, they was getting ready to bust a hole in them right here. And they just, you know, we're going to figure it out. When they thought they had something on an 11-1 run, and then they switched it up, and then they go up in front of them, then they got up. They got up, I believe, by 17, maybe 18.
Yeah.
And then they closed it back down. They was getting ready to bust a hole in them, Skip.
All right, so I'm going to go here. This is what I saw. I know Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's game. I know Jamal Murray's game. I've watched them both a whole lot. And they were not into that game last night. I don't care what you say. They were not locked in last night, and I don't know why. It almost felt like they were sandbagging a little bit, like they were just saying, let them eat tonight. Let them have all they want to have, because we're going to get them when it counts. Because they combined to shoot 5 of 18 last night, and they looked lifeless to me. They were not into it. I know their games. They were not into scoring the basketball.
But defensively, you don't think that affected them?
I'm sure it affected them some. I will give you that, because we got some serious defenders.
I saw Drew Holiday on Shai Gilgeous like a straitjacket. That's what it looked like. That's what it looked like to me. It's some players out there. There's some players out there that can make you look not into it, Skip.
Listen,
take your heart from you.
Yeah. And
nobody can take that kid's heart. I don't care what you say. He is an automatic 25 a night on anybody.
Yeah, but this is
anybody when he decides.
In that system with Oklahoma City, he's a great scorer. And I'm not saying he won't be a great scorer here, but he got shooters around him. You know, right here in Canada, where there's no space for him to go nowhere, and the three-point line is closer because he's a mid-range shooter.
He is.
So now the lane is even crowded a little bit more for him to get to his spot. So that's why I feel like international play for Shai Gilgeous is a little more difficult than NBA play for him.
Yeah.
You know, where he's more of a mid-range guy, and the court is a little shorter in international play.
It is. It's about 3 feet shorter, and the three-point line's a foot shorter.
Yeah.
All right. Late last night, I thought of a game way back when, way before both your times. You won't remember this, but the greatest upset in sports history occurred the night of February 22nd, 1980 in Lake Placid. It was the Miracle on Ice game in which our team USA beat the Soviets.
Yeah.
You don't remember it?
I know it, but I don't remember it. I know it.
They got cheated.
Yeah, who got cheated?
U.S.
You got cheated by you mean the Russians got cheated?
I mean, it was some cheatery.
No, there was no cheating.
There was no cheatery. It was fair and square.
It was.
And it wasn't. It was supposed to be lopsided.
USA won.
Yeah,
that's right. Yes,
you're thinking of the basketball game. You're thinking the Russia-US.
Yes,
that was cheating.
I'm talking about.
That was a robbery.
This is the Al Michaels
game.
Yeah.
This is the Al Michaels calling.
Do you believe in miracles?
Do you believe in miracles?
All right. So here's what happened. 13 nights before that, those same two teams, our amateurs, our kid amateurs, and their pros, their seasoned pros, played each other in an exhibition at Madison Square Garden, and the Soviets won 10-3. And it reminded me a little bit of last night, in which the big dogs say, oh, come on, we'll win this by 20, 25, 30, the next time we see them when it really matters. And maybe it'll be a little different the next time. Just maybe.
I bet you won't bet your house on it.
Well, I bet that. I bet a dinner, right?
I bet you will not bet your house on it.
I wouldn't bet my house on it, but I'll bet more than a dinner if you'd like to. If you'll give me 25 right now, I'll bet you name the price and I'll take it. You name it and I'll take it.
They may not even get to the final.
Yeah.
What if Canada don't get there? What if all of a sudden the Frenchies get them or you know?
Hey, Spain's really good.
You know,
Germany is really
I don't know what Giannis got on his side other than Giannis, but you just never know.
You never know.
Yeah. Him and his brother might come to play.
One of those teams might knock Team USA off.
Come on now, Skip, man.
I mean, the game could have been a lot closer because Canada did they missed a lot of wide open threes.
Wide open threes.
They missed a lot of wide open threes. I mean, the game could have been closer.
Yeah, but
coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Yeah, you gave me 20 and good. Yeah.
If.
Keyshawn, name a price and I'll take it. Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Do you want more highlights from the show? Make sure to click that subscribe button for all the exclusive content from Undisputed.